Hemram Rajput ji from Chhattisgarh. Gurudev, Radha Vallabh, Shri Harivansh. Gurudev, since I have seen and heard you, I have given up eggs, fish, meat, alcohol, and smoking. But my mind is still attached to sense gratifications.
Yes, because you're not realized that you will not have attraction to the world. That will happen when your mind is engrossed in the Lord. Then you're able to not be affected by lust, anger, greed, attachment, etc.
हीन जे राम भगति रस लीन.
The one whose mind is engaged in the name, in the pastimes, in the beauty of the Lord, then he has no other thing to do. He is not affected by anything else. But right now, the effect of satsang has just started to take effect. It's a good thing that you're a young age and that you're listening to me and you're trying to following. You have the mercy of the Lord on you. May this mercy keep increasing. You're trying to improve your actions. This is a very pleasing thing for me. And until I have life in this body, I just endeavor that people's heart and mind should be purified, because if it's purified, then everything else will become okay. Because our society's intelligence has been maligned. For example, the foodstuffs you had said that you were taking, that malign everybody. Those foodstuffs degrade you. And then the mind, the person who's there to help the society, it actually becomes a cause for degradation and pain and suffering in the society. When people in big positions come and they tell us about their state, it actually is very scary, because we feel that, what we should have accomplished in your life, you have not been able to done this, and what you should not have done, you've done. And that's why your state is like this. So even though materially you seem very accomplished, but spiritually you're in a very low place. Nobody can give you peace if you are acting against the injunctions of the Lord. For example, the Indian government has laws. The same way the law of the entire universe are scriptures like Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And they give you a lot of guidance how to live your life. If you live our life according to them, we will experience anand, we'll experience bliss.
जीवन व्यतीत करने के लिए आज्ञा देते हैं. हम अगर इनके अनुसार चले तो आनंद की अनुभूति हो जाएगी.
And this anand that we're searching for in bad places, and you will never find them in those places. The true anand, the true bliss is at the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the source, who's the ocean of all pleasure. So stay in his instructions. It pleases me a lot when young people like you come and say that I've given up these addictions or these bad foodstuffs. See, like I have a diseased body and I've been up since late night and I'm here, regardless of my condition, to serve you. But this is my pleasure. And when I hear people taking up to this or the path, the true path, then I really feel that my life has been successful. All these bodies, like the bodies may be different, but whoever is residing in the body is actually my Lord. That's why my Lord is residing in your heart.
जीवन धन प्रभु आपके हृदय में वास करते हैं. जब आप लौटोगे अपनी तरफ तो मुझे सुख मिल जाएगा.
अब ऐसी की पकड़ दो कभी आपको भूलो ना.
So it doesn't matter if you remember me or you don't remember, you should remember what I've told you. If you just look at this body and you think this body is not there, no, this body is destructible. It will be gone. But the one who is ours, who is Lord, is indestructible. If you listen to my words and follow those words, then I will remain with you always. Because if you remember my words, then it will be like I am with you. I will be in your mind, my words will be in your ear, and that will give you energy. So it doesn't matter if you remember me or not, remember my words, my instructions. You have a lot of mercy. We all have a lot of mercy. Sabman priye. The mercy of a saint is not just for a particular section of society. So, people say that, you were able to keep, you put like people who are demonic in front of you as well as saints.
पापी को आपने अपने सामने बैठाला, वो विशेष अधिकारी.
Well, sometimes what happens is when you get a patient who is very sick, then you might have to remove other people who might actually be in a much better condition. But this person needs a lot of help, so you have to operate on him. So sometimes you have to give these people attention.
बड़े गंदे आचरणों से युक्त है, तो हम लोगों के लिए विशेष
So one who is diseased, they have to go to a hospital to get cured. So in the same way, saints are the doctors of the spiritual, to cure the material disease. That is, the doctors are the saints and the gurus. That in the same way, we all are blessed. We all have mercy of the Lord. Sadguru Vaidya Vachan Vishwasa. You follow those words and you'll be able to escape from Maya. So we have mercy on everybody, but you have to recognize that mercy. The Lord loves everybody, even the ones who abuse the Lord still loves them. For example, the earth sustains even those who are abusing the Lord. Everybody gets the air. It's not like the air stops growing, so this person might suffocate to death. They are supplied with water. They're supplied with air. Everything that's necessary for life, they're supplied. Even the ones who abuse the Lord. This is the love of the Lord. So, say for example, a child might be very bad, might be doing some very bad things, but when the child comes back home, will the mother not feed him? The mother will feed him because he's come back home. So all the love that's there in all the mothers is basically by a drop of the love from the
वैसे
Lord.
सबसे सम्मम प्रिय सम्मम भक्तों के लिए कहते हैं, करो सदा तिनके रखवारी.
Therefore, we all have mercy upon us, but we have to honor that mercy. We should chant the name. We should become surrendered to the Lord and give up sinful activities. This human life is very precious. If our intelligence is corrupted, then we will have to face the results of that. We might have studied a lot, gotten a great position, but what happened if our intelligence fooled us and we are corrupted, and then we commit some crime and we're caught on tape, and then we get dishonored, our family disowns us? What happened? The intelligence was corrupted. But if we know that, and we know that somebody is doing bad acts, but he's giving us a lot of money, and we save that person, but somebody was innocent and we got them jailed, we got them blamed. So then what happens? Then you will have to face the repercussions. You've obtained this money right now, but you will have to face the repercussions of your sins. And this bliss that we're searching for is actually our Swarup, is our true spiritual self. The form of the Lord is Shant, is peaceful. So we are parts and parcel of the Lord. The Lord is Avinashi, indestructible. So we're part and parcel. The Lord is the ocean of bliss. So are we. That is our Swarup. We've forgotten, and that's why we're indulging in intoxication, meat eating, etc. This is causing a lot of malignity. People whose mind is so maligned, they actually argue the other way, that if the Lord has created all of these things, then who has He created this for? Then, well, why do you think we have jails and all these diseases? It's because you have to face the repercussions of your actions. Now, if you have some sins and you're meditating on the Lord, then you will still have to face those actions of your karma, but you'll be able to tolerate them in a much better way. And also, by the God's mercy, that might be reduced a lot. But everything that had been accumulated in the past will be cleaned up. And also, like any future actions will be purified. But whatever has already been accumulated, whatever karmas have been accumulated, you will have to face the repercussion of that. So those people are fortunate to understand this. See, no trinket, no blessing can actually save you from any unhappiness.
कोई जादू टोना, कोई जंतुर और ये कलावा, ये तुम्हें दुख से नहीं मिटा, दुख से नहीं. बताओ, अगर ऐसी बातें होती, इतनी सामर्थ होती, तो हम सब सुखी नहीं हो जाते?
No, but when you start chanting, you will feel that. You'll start to feel happy right away. Tulsi Goswami ji has said in one of his poems, we're telling you a very clear thing, that unless you do bhajan of the Lord, even in your dreams, you will not have peace. Even in your dreams, you will have such scary dreams that you'll be screaming.
यह सिद्धांत अपेल, तब लगी कुशल न जीव कहूं, सपने हूँ मन विश्राम, जब लगी भजत न राम, कहूँ शोक धाम तज काम। स्पष्ट बात कह रहे हैं। जब तक
Whether Tulsi Goswami says that there's some things which are impossible, like for example, getting oil from sand.
स्वप्न है कि चिल्ला चिल्ला कर रोने लगोगे, जागृत की कौन कहे, चाहे पानी मथने से भले घी
So
निकले।
Tulsi Goswami ji is saying something very clearly, that until you're doing the bhajan of the Lord and you give up all your desires, then even in your dream, you will not be able to have peace. You will have such scary dreams that you'll be screaming, what about while you're awake? And maybe some things are possible, that by churning water, you get ghee. By churning the sand, you get oil. All those things are impossible. But say that may even happen. But unless you do bhajan of the Lord, you will not be able to rise over this unhappiness, get rid of this unhappiness.
अधर्म से कभी धर्म नहीं हो पाता। अच्छा, अब ये अधर्म को समझने के लिए जो हमें बुद्धि चाहिए, वो जो खान पान गंदे हो रहे हैं, तो वो बुद्धि ठीक निर्णय करेगी।
So the food that we eat has a lot of effect. It can affect your mind. There's a pastime of a great saint who used to live in the jungle. Bhishma Ji, when he was lying on the bed of arrows, then he had shared this pastime. And Draupadi mentioned to him that you're sharing great realizations, but where was this knowledge when I was in the court of Duryodhan and I was being humiliated? Then Bhishma Ji said that because at that time I was eating the grains of Duryodhan and my mind had been corrupted. Now by these arrows, all this blood is coming out and I've been purified. There was another saint who used to live in the jungle and he would not go to any city. And then he saw this saint sitting very quietly, confidentially. He was religious, he was righteous. And then he went to the saint and bowed down and said, oh, maybe please, please bless us and come to our palace sometime. So one day the saint went there and he had all this great foodstuffs. He was in the palace of the king. Now, when he came back, he would not able to concentrate on his bhajan and he was just looking for the king. Where is the king? When is the king going to come? When is the king going to come? This is how he was thinking. And now anything he would eat here, he would not like because he had tasted the food at the king's. And this was a person who was always staying in isolation, in seclusion. And now he had this desire to associate with the king. So now, because he had so much bhajan, the king came and asked him again, please come to my palace. Now, this time around, the king didn't have to ask him too much. He went to the king's palace.
तो ऐसे देख महल में बैठालते थे और रानी स्वयं भोजन परोसती थी राजा चरण सेवा में, क्योंकि संतों की ऐसी महिमा रही है, अब भी है।
He saw that in the queen's quarters where the king had taken him, there was a necklace of precious stones hanging for the queen. And for some reason, he just he had his prasad, and then he got up and he just grabbed the necklace and put it in his bag and left. And then after that, the queen told the king that nobody has been to my quarters and my necklace, precious necklace, is missing, and only that saint has come. Nobody else from outside has come. And it has just been yourself, myself, and this saint. So why would I deceive? You would not take it. I would not take it. This is my, ornament for decorating myself. Why would I lie? So only he has come. But the king said, well, no, he's very renounced. Why would he take? But he had some doubt. But he didn't want to have the saints criticize if this word gets out. The people who are righteous, they don't want to disturb the faith of other people, because he goes, okay, my faith has been disturbed, but I don't want the faith of other people to be disturbed. So he just told the queen that, don't worry about it, I'll make you another ornament. Well, and then the saint, now after a few days, he went back to his kutia, where he's staying in the forest, and he put his hand in the bag after a few days, and he saw that he had stolen the necklace of the queen. And he goes, how did this happen? Well, he was a true saint. He was a righteous person. He went back to the king and he says, how could I have done this? He went back to the king and he was holding up the precious stone necklace in his hand in front of everybody and said, I stole this, king. And the king wanted to protect him. And he says, no, Maharaj, you did not steal this to test you. I had put this in your bag just to test you. And so he protected the saint and nobody in the court could understand. So then in confidence, in private, he asked the saint, like, you yourself stole the necklace and then you yourself come give it back. I don't understand. Why is this? And then saint explained, well, by the food grains I had from your kitchen, because that inspired me to steal. That inspired this mode of passion in me, and that's why I stole it. But now I've been fasting for the past few days, and that's why my consciousness was regained, and I came to give it back. So that's why if you ate food grains which are corrupted, then your intelligence will also be maligned. So just chant and just follow as per the injunctions of the Lord, and then this life will be full of peace and contentment, as well as the future lives. So those who have decided that they will no longer commit sinful activities and follow the path of the Lord, they are very fortunate.
Ram Avatar ji,
जय श्री राधे।
Radha Vallabh Shri Harivansh Maharaj ji. Maharaj Shri, which knowledge is king of knowledge and is the most confidential of all secrets?
Knowing your Swarup, your true spiritual self, knowing the Swarup of the Lord, you will understand the Swarup of the Lord. The one who does not know the Swarup of himself does not know the Swarup of the Lord and does not know the true nature of the material world. For example, if you know the glory of one drop of Ganga Ji, then you would know the glory of the entire Ganga river.
परम पिता प्रभु के
So, this body is supposed to be 3.5 times the length of the arm, but do you even know your own body? We don't know this. We just know the covering. This body is actually just a covering. It's just like a cloth. The Atma Tattva, the God element, the soul, you do not know that. When you know your Swarup, your true spiritual self, once who realizes that, realizes God. But this information is given by the Guru, but the Lord who comes in the form of the Guru. Knowing your Swarup, your true spiritual self, if you realize that,
तुम्हें हो जाए अपने स्वरूप का बोध अगर हो जाए
then you will know the glory of the Lord and the trap of this material world. You'll know about the Maya, the illusion. Until you know this knowledge, and everything else will be incomplete. There might be a lot of discussions, but you don't have self-realization. So then everything will just be a show. But if you realize your true self, then you will be successful. So then attachment from the material world, realization of true self, then you will realize God. So what is the key thing here? The key thing is here to chant Radha Radha, to chant Ram Krishna Hari. This will take you on the path where you will realize your Swarup, your true spiritual self, to realize, see the God in person. So when you realize yourself, then you will be able to see the Lord in person. Or if you see the Lord in person, then you will be able to realize your true self. Both go hand in hand. So, we are part and parcel of the Lord. When you take a drop of Ganga, what would you say? This is Ganga water, right? So Krishna says, Mavevansho. He says Mavevansho. So you are my part and parcel.
भगवान कहते हैं ना ममई वांशो तू मेरा अंश है तो हमारा स्वरूप क्या है भगवत स्वरूप है
When somebody goes to the abode of the Lord, then as Hari, that's how he is. Only know the Lord, then you don't have to know anything else. Just knowing the Lord, just obtaining the Lord, then you don't have to obtain anything else. If this is not possible, then If this doesn't happen, then everything else you do is just a waste. Everything else is illusion, is ignorance. Those dharmic activities, those knowledge, what is the use of that if you don't realize the Lord, if you don't remember the Lord? Do you understand, my child? This is spiritual knowledge, but I like it that you are of a young age that and you desire to know these things. So it's my prayer that you stop sinful activities and chant the name, and then this knowledge will start to manifest. The chanting of the holy name has great potency, but it's very difficult to focus your mind on chanting of the name. You can do anything else, but not chant. To sit down and chant one name for 2 hours, the mind will be filled with anxiety. When the mind is hit by the stick of the name, then all these faults of lust, anger, greed, attachment, run away. So when you're in the association of the guru, all of these things are attacked. In the same way, when you go to a doctor and the doctor gives you medicine to cure things, the guru gives you these things. And only at the lotus feet of the guru is your devotion strengthened. So say if you have an urge for lust or to taste something or to hear something or to watch something, right now we're just doing whatever urges we have. Are we able to stop? Once who is able to control these senses, then he has the capability to gain knowledge, that after obtaining that knowledge, there's nothing else left to know. So you can hear all this information, but right now you'll have to do what the mind says. You'll have to go where the senses take you. It's only the brave who can stop his feet. And this bravery, this strength only comes by chanting the name. And unless you are doing bhajan, you might be talking about a lot of great things. These same things that we're talking about, like a fake note, fake currency is just like the real currency. So all the talk might appear to be real, but unless you have realization, it will appear like you're talking about the truth, but it will not have an effect. The listening of the Bhagavad Gita, the listening of the Leela, the pastimes of the Lord has so much effect that Dundkari, who had become a ghost, just by listening to Bhagavad Gita, the pastimes of the Lord, for 7 days, he was able to obtain the Lord, and a plane came to take him to the abode of the Lord. So if we give up this duplicity, then very soon this knowledge will manifest by the chanting of the name. The name has a lot of potency, but chanting the name is very difficult. Okay, but even like for Babajis, for people in the rounds order, have to control themselves entire life. Controlling yourself for 1 month, 2 months is difficult, but for life, imagine for 50 years you have been controlling yourself, controlling your senses, but then for 5 minutes you fall down, then it's like the dam that was made of sand has been broken. So how difficult is it? If you're just pretending to be a renounced person, then yeah, it's a different story. But for somebody who's truly following this path, it's a difficult path. Giving up all your family, relatives, mother, father, giving up all the entertainment of the mind, and only relying on the Lord and no entertainment for the mind. Can you try do this even for a small time? Gurudev, I can do this for 2.5 months. 2.5 hours I can do puja, but it's very difficult to do the name. And by your mercy, people are now realizing what is the chanting of the name. I've come to Vrindavan many times, but I was not able to come to see you. But I remember your words that you had said that somebody can only come to Radha, Keli, Kunj, to our ashram, if you have the mercy of Radha Rani. I also write some bhajans, devotional songs sometimes. I used to write poems, material poems, but then I was inspired by you to write these bhajans. But I realized how difficult it is to write the poems about Radharani. I wrote a few lines and I realized how difficult it is to write about Radharani. See, what happens is you wrote something and your false ego wants to get boosted. See, over here, we do a surgery of your false ego using the tools of spirituality. We operate on your false ego. But the false ego wants to get boosted to write about Shriji, to write about Radharani. Do you think it's a small issue? Have you seen her? If you haven't seen, then how can you write? Pyaro dum chamte. Shamte, do you understand the word? So, you know how these great personalities have written these pastimes? No, this is not just a flowery collection of words. What they're seeing, they're writing. So, if you can sing these things, what the acharyas have written, then slowly you'll be able to see that. So, what I think is when you go to see saints, then you should go there to listen, only to listen. And if you have any curiosity, any questions, you should put that forward. And if you have any weaknesses, you should put that forward. But anything good that you're doing, you should never say that. Any realizations you might be gaining, never put that forward. Only your weaknesses put you forward. Hide your good qualities, and you have to reach a state where, lust, anger, greed cannot touch you. And that can happen by the association of saints, that can happen by satsang. But our false ego, tickles us to say this, to say that, we had this realization, but that is just your false ego. So we have to destroy this false ego. And without dissolving the false ego, we will not be able to get the love of Lord. We will not be able to realize Lord. And we are the spiritual doctors to help cure this disease of the false ego. If somebody says they're God realized, do you think we are jealous of them? No, we will want to wash their feet. So, don't pretend. If you pretend, you will be caught. As long as you have lust in your heart, anger, attachment, greed, jealousy. If you see a man, see a woman, then you're not God realized. Jahan Ram, tahan kaam nahi. So, when I say sometimes the truth, but some of these, you are engaged in the material world, then you might feel bad about it. But see, if you go to a doctor and the doctor gives you some medicine, will you feel bad about it? So in the same way, if any saints or gurus, scold you, then you should not feel bad. You should feel happy that actually there's somebody in the world who's catching these material diseases I have and is trying to cure me. For example, if you go to a guru and the guru diagnoses you and says, do you have this symptom? Do you have that symptom? And you say, yes. You put that information forward. So in the same way, for your gurus and saints, you should have the same attitude. And then the guru and saints can operate on you and cure these diseases. In the material world, when people do the surgery, they will give you anesthesia, make you unconscious. But for the guru, you have to focus your complete attention on the guru. And then the guru does this operation. So if you have any great realizations, you should just surrender it. Any good qualities, surrender them to the lotus feet of the Lord. But if you have any weaknesses, then you put those forward in front of the guru so that those can be addressed. And then we can get filled with qualities that would please the Lord. Like if you want to sing something for me, well, the Acharya Vanis of the songs and poems and pastimes that have been written by the Acharyas, is there anything greater than this? For example, if there's a new addict and you give him a little marijuana, he'll go high on that. But if there is an old addict, will he be affected by such a little marijuana? No. So in the same way, we are old addicts, addicted to the Vanis of Hariram Vyasju, Harivansh Mahaprabhu, Haridas Swami. So what experience do you have? You haven't seen anything. So what can we listen to you? Do you understand? By this conversation, your false ego will go down. You'll become humble. And then what you truly want to write, then Shriji, Radharani will give you that capability. All these scriptures that have been written, the Rus scriptures that have been written. We have a great saint in our tradition, Dhruv Das Ji. He wanted to write these pastimes. So he went to this Baras Mandal in Vrindavan. He lay down there and he didn't eat or drink anything for many days. And he was praying to Shriji that please give me the capability that I can write your pastime. Shriji appeared. She put her foot to his forehead and he could hear her ankle bells. And look, he's written this thick scripture called Bialas Leela, filled with beautiful nectarian pastimes of Priyalalju, of Radheshamju. So chant Radha, chant the holy name, and then she will give you that state where you will see the beauty of the Lord and you can write about it.
Ashray Sharma ji from Australia. Gurudev, Shri Harivansh. Gurudev, what is the objective of having so many sampradayas, religious traditions? Are sampradayas really required for God realization?
Yes, because we don't worship the Lord with just one bhav. If we desire, we'll make the Lord our friend. Now, what is the process to make the Lord our friend? So the Lord himself came in the form of Acharya as well as Acharya in the Pushti Marg tradition, the Ashtasakas. What if we want to make the Lord our husband in the devotional path? Then what is the process for that? If we want to make the Lord our master, so the Acharya has appeared in the mood of servitude. And if you want to be one with the Lord, then the Lord appears as Shankaracharya. This same Lord appears as different acharyas for the benefit of people who want to worship him in different moods and show them the way to love the Lord in that mood. We can consider the Lord our Guru, our beloved, our friend, our master, our son.
अपने प्रभु को सखा मान लें, अपने प्रभु को स्वामी मान लें, अपने प्रभु को पुत्र भी मान लें.
Nanda, Yashoda, and others, there have been so many devotees who worship the Lord in the parental mood.
जो भगवान को पुत्र भाव से भजे,
So the Lord reciprocated with them in that mood. Do you find anything contradictory in this? Yes, this is the mercifulness of our Lord. Whoever wants to worship the Lord, in whichever mood he wants to worship, the Lord reciprocates, appears as a Acharya in that mood to guide devotees. There is nothing to be surprised about or doubt here. The Lord has many names. For example, water can be called by different names in different languages. The ones who know English will call it water. The ones with scriptural knowledge may call it Var. And the villagers may simply call it Pani.
अपने देहाती भाषा में बोले पानी पिला दो.
But they are referring to the same object. So if a material object does not change simply by referring to it in different ways, then the Lord, who is Satchit Anand, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, has countless names: Ram, Krishna, Hari, Om, Shiva, the 1,000 names of Gopal, the 1,000 names of Vishnu. The Lord Shesha, who has 2,000 tongues, is constantly chanting the Lord's name from time immemorial and still has not reached the end. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. According to his Katha or Leela, which are countless, he has different names. When he was tied by a rope, he was known as Damodar. When he killed a demon, like a Bakasur or Agasur, he got a different name. So the names of the Lord are countless. So whatever name the Lord, a devotee chants, the Lord reciprocates with him in that mood. One may ask, why does he have various names, various moods? Well, he's Anant, unlimited. Just latch on to one name and you will experience the Lord in that way. Goswami Tulsidas sees only Ram and the gopis see only Sham. For the students of the Upanishads, he appears as an impersonal Brahman, Sarvam Kalvadam Brahm. For those who study the Gita, he appears as Krishna. So tell me, any doubts? One may say they're saying Ram, they're saying Sham, they're saying Krishna, but they're calling the same Lord. One might say you're worshipping as a guru, others as a master, ancestor, friends. Well, it is their bhav. Anyways, this is a convenience that we have been given. You can, for example, bathe along the Yamuna on so many different ghats, the riverbank steps, but you're still bathing where? In Yamuna. Well, that's the solution. Then one can say, why so many bathing areas? Because different people have different tastes. When you take a bath but you're taking a bath in the same river, Yamuna. So what is the problem?